Welcome to the Loud and Board Gaming channel. I'm Ken, and today I'm going to be playing Pathfinder adventure card game Skulls and Shackles. So this game came out a little bit ago, and in my video on Wrath of Ashardalon, I kind of mentioned how, although I've played like Dungeons and Dragons and a little bit in role-playing games, I don't do that too often, but there are a lot of board games out there that kind of give you that feeling of playing a role-playing game, a tabletop role-playing game. And here's a Pathfinder adventure card game. Now I do have the Pathfinder basic box set, which is a pretty good box set. Comes with quite a bit. And so I'm familiar with Pathfinder. If you're not familiar with Pathfinder, it is based off of the Dungeons and Dragons, I think 3.5 rules. And so this is a card game version that kind of emulates that Pathfinder role-playing game. So in Pathfinder adventure card game, I'm not going to go over all the rules, but I'll just kind of explain a little bit about what you're doing. You have characters that you're kind of creating a little bit, and they have a deck of cards and a character kind of stat card. Each character will have strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. And you're going to use these to do checks against different cards by rolling what die it says. So if I do a strength check here, I would do a D4. And D4 is just a die like this. And it only has 4 different outcomes, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So it's going to have a different, what they call size dice. So D4 or D8, that would only have 8 different numbers on it. D6, D12, and D6 as well. Some of the skills have like special skills to it. So under the dexterity here, I got range dexterity +3. So if I do a check that says range, when I roll a D8, I will also add 3 to that check. And then our characters also have hand size here, so I can only have 4 cards in my hand. And then I'm proficient with light armors and weapons, and that'll matter on certain cards. Sometimes they'll ask you whether you have those proficiencies. And then here at the bottom I have abilities. So this Durana has, like when I play a weapon card with the firearm traits, if I were to bury it or shuffle it into my deck, I can instead use a different card. Or it says I may shuffle a card from my hand into the deck to add a 1d4 to like a combat check from at a different location. And I'll talk about that when that kind of shows up. Also on the back side of this tells you what kind of cards I can have in my deck. So she can have 4 weapons, no spells, 2 armor, 2 items, 3 allies, and 4 blessings. And so that's what I've done already. I've gone in and created this character and added the necessary cards. And when you first create your character, you just use the basic aim card that has the basic trait on it. So you can play this game as like a campaign. So you play over several games of this, and your character can level up. That's why if you look at this card, you can do little check marks sometimes. You might get a reward for leveling up and getting checks. As you're playing and finding different loot, you can add those to your deck. And at the end of the scenario, or at the end of the scenario you're playing, you would remove cards to always match this list. But the things you find in this game, you can use in your next game. Also, the base game comes with a kind of basic adventure, and you go through that first, but then it also came with the first adventure deck number 1. And then it has, I think, 5 more of these adventure decks that you can purchase. So that's a little bit about that. So out here we have a location. Now the scenario I'm doing is called Island Hopping, and this is the first one for the scenario B. Actually, is this called a scenario? But anyways, it's like the first scenario in the scenario B adventure. And what this tells you is that this is the villain you're going to be fighting, and then these are the henchmen. So I'm going to have enemy ships and hammerhead sharks. This Pathfinder adventure set is a pirate theme, and so we actually do have a boat for our guys, and you'll see like pistols and rifles, and a lot of like pirate kind of themed cards. So here, those are going to be our henchmen. And then it says during this scenario, if you defeat a hammerhead shark henchman, put it on the bottom of a random other open location. You may still attempt to close the location that henchman came from. So we're going to have sharks coming out and kind of staying around and going to different locations. And then at the end it has a reward that each character gains a random item from the box. So there's a lot more cards in the box. I'll just show it real quick. So there's a lot more cards here. And actually I have more characters here. Some of these characters I've already kind of created and played with. But we'll be able to get a item to add to our deck for the next time we play. And then on the back side here, it's going to tell you what locations you're going to use based upon the number of players. And so I've already gotten those locations out. And so for a 2-player game, because I'm playing as 2 characters, we're going to be using these 4 locations. And then it has a little flavor text. I'm not going to really read that because I'm probably just going to do this one scenario. But that's the scenario kind of gameplay there. So in our locations, we have 4 different locations. The locations are going to tell you what cards you're going to make this location of, like how many monsters, how many barriers, weapons, spells, and so on. And so I've already made each of those, and you shuffle those up. And then each of the decks will also have either a henchman or a villain. And our goal is to close all the locations and defeat the villain, and then we win the game. So with each location, after we defeat the henchman of that location or villain, we get to try to close it. If it's a villain and we defeat it, we automatically close it. But if it's a henchman, then we have to do the win closing action. And here it says to banish an ally. So I'm going to have a card that says ally. And to banish it is basically get it out of the game. And that's how I would close it. But first I have to find the henchman and defeat the henchman. And then when it's permanently closed, it gets this special ability when you're at this location. Also, each location has a kind of a thing that does while you're at that location. So if you're at the Lonely Island, if you are the only character at the location, add a 1d4 to checks attempted at this location. So you kind of want to be by yourself on this lonely island when you do checks. We also have what's called the blessing deck, and on at the start of each player's turn, you flip over the top card. It's going to be a blessing, and this acts as kind of a timer of the game. So if we run out here, we would lose. I'm pretty sure if one character dies, we lose as well. We do have this boat that at the start of the scenario we draw randomly from, there's like a table that you roll a d6 and it tells you what kind of random item you get. I kind of forgot which one I got here, but I don't know what it is. And you just put it under here. So they're called plunder. And so for every card under our ship at the end of the game, we get to look at those and add them to our character decks if we want to. All right, so we have Larian and Celatal. And Larian is a kind of, what is she? She's kind of like a gunslinger. That's what she is. She's a gunslinger, so she's going to be using weapons. Whereas Saltalia is a magus. I don't really know what that is, but basically he uses weapons and swords with spells. So, and they each have their kind of different abilities. Saltiel, he can basically, if he uses a one-handed weapon, he can then use a spell and kind of recharge that spell to add a 1d6 to a check. He also, before you reset your hand, you may attempt to recharge a spell from your discard pile. And then Larian here has when I use a weapon with a firearm trait, I think I already mentioned this, but I can bury it or shuffle it into my deck. I can also, like I said, shuffle my hand into, take a card and shuffle it into my deck and add a 1d4. So those are kind of their special abilities. Laurie Ann starts with 4 cards in her hand, so I'm going to draw 4 cards. And Sal Tael starts with 5. And your deck is your life points, basically. And if you ever have to draw cards and you don't have any to draw, then you are dead. I think probably the game's over at that point. All right. So, and unlike other kind of deck building games, this is like a little bit of a deck building game, but not really. Because we are going to be getting more cards to our hand, but our deck, like I said, if we ever have no cards to draw, it's not like we're reshuffling it and putting them back in our deck. We are dead. So, all right. So I have to choose a place for them to both be at. Now, in this scenario, when we are at a location, whoever's turn it is, they are actually the captain of the boat, and that boat is, I guess, at that location. It's, I guess, a little abstracted, like you're on the boat, you go on the boat, you get off the boat, or, you know, the other character takes the boat, or you're both together. When you move and you are on your boat at the location where the boat is, you can actually move together if you wanted to. I'm not sure if that really matters, because I think on your turn you can move and then explore. So the phases of this game, I'm going to see if I can find it really quick in the rule book. All right, so the phases of the game is, first you advance the blessing deck, so we'll advance this, and it's a blessing of Farah's Sama, and we'll just put that right here. And then after you do that, you can give a card, so you may give 1 card to another person. You can move, so when you move, and really you do, you advance you can move. You may move your token card to another location. Moving then triggers any effects that happen when you enter or leave a location. You can explore. You may explore your location once each turn without playing a card. You may never explore on another player's turn. So, and then after you explore, you can try to close the location. You then reset, and that's your end of your turn. So here are my starting hands. Now, not too bad. Now each character, when I start, she has a favorite type of card. If I didn't have that card, so she needs to have a weapon. If I didn't have that, I could discard these, draw again, and then when I do get one, I would then shuffle those cards into my deck. So this is what I have, and I should draw for Saltail as well. Sorry, I did. But I need to make sure that I have his favorite type, which is a spell. So we do have a spell. All right. So let's start. We're going to start both here at the floating shipyard. And one of the reasons, my strategy here is to first, let's both try to take out this location first. And then we'll move off into the other 2. We'll send someone to the Lonely Island, and they'll send someone to the Tempest Cay, because at the Lonely Island, I would get that extra die roll while I'm there. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I don't want to move. I'm just going to draw from the top of the floating shipyard. And here we have an ally. And so there's a check of charisma diplomacy of a 6. So if I want to add this to my, well, I'm going to roll this anyways, but if I get this check, I can then add this card to my deck, or to my hand. So I'm going to take a look at my charisma. My charisma is a D6. I do not have the trait of diplomacy, so I'm just going to be doing the regular D6, and I need a 6, so probably I would fail. Now there could be some other cards like a Blessing of the Gods card, so it's when I encounter this card, you automatically acquire it, but that's not what I'm doing. It says discard this card to add a 1 die to any check. Discard this card to add 1 die to any check. And then here it says discard this card to explore your location. So if I want to go again, you can only explore once. If I want to go again, I could discard this. You may instead treat this card as if it's had the same powers as the top card of the Blessing's discard pile. So I could treat this as having the same as this if I wanted to, the Blessings of the God, which it says other things here. So we're probably not going to do that. I think I'm just going to roll because I don't really care whether I get this ally or not. I don't think it's going to help us that much because it's just going to add this like crafting check, help us with the crafting check. So I'm just going to roll this die, and I rolled a 5. So I did not get it. So because this is a what they call a boon card, so allies, spells, items, so anything like good for us, they're called boons. If we didn't pass it, we just remove it from the game. So that's gone. Now if I wanted to, I could play the Blessings of the God card and to go again. We're not going to do that right now. So that's the end of my turn. Now at this point, I can discard any of these cards to draw some new cards. But I'm not going to do that because this is my life. I don't want to, you know, suffer my own health points there, just draw another card. So I'm just going to end my turn there. So my turn's done, and we'll go to Saltiel, and we will flip over the Blessing deck card, place that there, and we're going to do the same thing. Now what I should have also have looked at was this here. It says add 3 to your check to repair ship. So nothing bad at this. But I do know there's going to be at least 2 monsters and 1 henchman here. So this could be a monster, maybe. All right, and it's another ally, and we need a charisma diplomacy 7 check. So we'll look at our stats here. So charisma is a d6, so there is no way that I could even get this at all unless I played something in here that would help. It says during your turn, this is a detect magic. During your turn, discard this card to examine the top card of your location. If the card is a blessing or has a magic trait, you may immediately encounter it. Otherwise, return it to the top of the deck. So during discard this card to examine the top card of your location deck. After playing this card, if you do not have the arcane, so all right, let's roll. Oh, look at that! I rolled a 5. Nope, was not a 7. So that one's also gone. So far we've gone through 2 cards of this deck. We're trying to find the henchman. If we find the henchman, we can close the deck, close the location, and then proceed to the next one. So we're going to flip over the blessing, and we'll go with Larian. I don't know. Let's flip. Oh, change shirt. Now I need a Constitution Fortitude of 4. And let's see. I actually already have a change shirt. Let's see. What is my Fortitude? Constitution Fortitude. So I roll a d6, and it's a +1. So let me roll. I need a 4. And I rolled a 2. +1 is 3, so that's not enough. So this is all going to be discarded. So far, we're getting no luck at all in getting our items. But we're going to carry on. So we're just kind of like in this floating shipyard, and we're just kind of like going through some stuff. We came across some characters that were maybe on another boat, and they were like, no, you guys don't look really all that pleasing to be with. And then we found this change shirt, and I believe I can give a card to someone who's in my location if I wanted to, but we're not going to do that. All right, so next character's turn. So we're going to flip, and we have a spell. It's called the Sphere of Sphere of Fire, which is arcane, which is good because that's what we need. We have an intelligence, arcane, wisdom, or divine. So if I look at my character for intelligence, arcane, so we're rolling a d8, intelligence of +3. So let me make sure I grab the right die. Here's a d8, and I need a 7, and I'm doing a +3. So technically I need a 4 higher. Come on, get that 4. Let's get this magic spell. We got a 3. So 3 + 3 is 6. We did not get it. Geez, so maybe I came across some kind of tome, and I was reading it, and I almost understood what that spell was, and I was about to write it down, but there's like one word I couldn't translate. So let's go on to the next character. Now this is already, you can see we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in this 30 deck of card blessing deck. So we're going to encounter this again, and now we have another spell. Magic, arcane, and rage. It's kind of cool, but I doubt we will be able to get it because we need, let's see, intelligence, and I have a d6, so I could get it if I roll a 6. I could use the blessing, but I want to save those for enemies. I rolled a 5. Did not get that one either. All right, I couldn't figure it out. So that's done. We're going to go on to the next character's turn. So far, nothing is really happening in our adventure. At least nothing exciting. All right, here we go. Now we got something. This is called a barrier. Swabbing the decks barrier. Okay. All right, so here are the traits for this card. I don't think I pointed that out. We need to defeat, we need a Constitution Fortitude of 7. And it says you may recharge a number of allies. For each ally recharge, add a 1d4 to your check to defeat this barrier. If defeated, you may recharge 1 card. Okay. If undefeated, each character recharges 1 card. Leave this barrier face up on the location deck. Characters at this location encounter this barrier as their first exploration each turn. So we're going to have to leave this on the card if we don't get by this. So we got to clean the decks here. Fortitude, 7. So our Constitution Fortitude is a d6 + 1. So if we rolled a 6, we could get this. So I think I'm going to use the Blessings of the Gods card to add a die, and I'm pretty sure that's a d12. I'm just going to check the rules real quick. All right, well, it looks like what you do is you just add, when it says add another die, you would just add the same value of that die. It says discard this card to add 1 die to any check, discard this card to explore when you encounter this card. Or you may instead treat this card as if it was the top one, which we're not. So I'm going to get another 2 d6s. Now, since we're at the same location, if my friend here had a blessing card, he could play that blessing card, and we would I would be able to add another die. One thing you can't do is you cannot play more, you can only play 1 type of card of that type. So I cannot play like both of these weapon cards during my check, but and I can only do 1 blessing card, but my partner here could also just do the same, just play 1. So I'm going to roll 2 dice. I need 7. I have a +1. Come on. Ooh, all right, we got it. With the 6. So good thing I played that blessing. Actually, I don't know. I might have gotten it just with that. Anyways, we defeated swabbing the decks. And if defeated, you may recharge 1 card. Or you may recharge 1 card. Now, it doesn't say where that's coming from. Does that mean I recharge from my discard pile? Or does it mean, I think it means from your hand. So I'm actually going to take this pistol and I'm going to recharge it. So what recharge means is I take it and put it on the bottom of my deck. Don't know how good that is, but we'll do that. I'm probably going to get a lot of rules wrong. Maybe that's not how you're supposed to interpret it, but Now I can recharge one. We don't need 2 weapons, so let's just keep this long sword, and we'll recharge this on the bottom. And the reason why I want to do this is because then I can draw some more cards. So that was taken care of, and we were able to clean those decks off. I guess it makes sense since we're at the floating shipyard. People don't seem to like us very much, and they were making us, for some reason, we got in some trouble and we had to clean the decks. All right, so now I'm going to draw up to my hand size. So I got the cabin boy, and I got another blessing of the gods. All right, so now it's Saltiel, and we are going to explore. So this could be a monster or a henchman, and it is another barrier. Barroom Brawl. All right, so Barroom Brawl. I said Barroom. Barroom Brawl. So yeah, this is like crazy. Now we're getting. They made us clean the decks, and we're now you know taking it to them, man. We got maybe we're drinking a little bit too much. I don't know. But we need to do a melee dexterity check of 5. The difficulty to defeat the barrier is increased by the adventure deck number. So we're on adventure deck 0 actually, so we don't increase that. Each character at this location encounters this barrier, so we both encounter it. Each character that does not defeat the barrier is dealt 1 plus adventure deck number. Dealt 1 plus the adventure deck number, if any, in combat damage. If any character defeats the barrier, is defeated. Okay. So, let's see. We need a 5 strength, melee, or dexterity. So, and it's hard to see. I don't know if you can see that too well, but we can do any of these checks here. So her dexterity is actually pretty high. It's a D8. Now we're not using the range, we're just going to use the D8. So she will roll a D8, which is right here, and we need a 5 or higher. Now let's see what the cabin boy says. Recharge this card to add a 1d4 to your non-combat check. This does not say it's a combat, so I could recharge it. So let's recharge it. So we'll put him on the bottom to add a d4 because we don't want to take any damage, and I at least want to perhaps get by this barrier. So it's hard to read on this yellow one, but I rolled a 4 and a 4. So I'm glad I used that cabin boy. I kind of like took the cabin boy and like threw him in front of me. He took a hit to the face, and then I knocked him out. So that is defeated, but he needs to roll it as well. And his strength, it's a melee strength? Yeah, melee, all right. So he has a D8 plus 3. So I think that should be good enough. And you have 5 minus 3, which is a 2 or higher. And he rolled a 1. Man, you stink. So he takes 1 combat damage, so I'm going to lose... Oh, wait. Recharge this card to reduce combat damage dealt to you by 1. So I'm going to recharge it. So I'm using this Bracers of Protection, so I reduce that, and it's going to go recharge to the bottom. All right, so that is done. Man, we're having some excitement now. Didn't do too bad in that brawl. And I'm like totally going to like forget their special abilities, but we haven't really needed to use it yet. All right, so I have 3 cards in my hand. My hand size is 5, so I draw 2 more cards, and we got a Lookout Ally here, which can be helpful to add to our perception check. And I can always recharge it to look at the top card. But there's that. And we're going to the next, we're going to the next one. So I'm going to draw from the blessing. I might have forgotten that last time. Oh, wow. But let's see what we have. All right, we have a skeleton. Finally, some real fighting here. So check to defeat is a combat 8. The skeleton is immune to mental and poison traits. If the check is defeated, has the piercing or slashing trait, the difficulty of the check is to defeat is increased by 3. Well, we are not going to be using that because we're going to be using a pistol. And remember, if I use my firearm, so here it says for your combat check, reveal this card to use your dexterity or range skill plus 1d6. So I'm going to reveal this card. That means I just show, and I get a 1d6 plus I'm using my range skill. So my range is, let's see, where is that at? My range is a d8 plus 3. So d8 plus 3, I need an 8. So I actually need a 5. I'm rolling these 2 dice. Now again, at this point, if I want to use this Blessing of Gods, I could add another, I guess, d8 to that roll. Do I want to do that? Now let me look at this pistol. You may additionally bury this card to add another 1d10. If you do not bury this card, roll 1d6 or 1d12 if you are proficient with weapons. On a 1 or 2, shuffle this card into your deck. So there's a chance I lose this card, like I ran out of ammo or something. Alright, I could use her special ability also to kind of add a 1d10 to the roll. I just shoot at the skeleton, because if I don't beat him, he's going to do damage to us anyways, and he will go bye-bye. Alright, so we defeated him. 6 and 3 is 9. The skeleton is defeated. So we'll get rid of him. Man, is this henchman on the bottom of this deck? And I don't lose this card. I have 4 cards in my hand. I draw another one. Oh, another pistol. I think I have like 3 pistols in my deck. I flip the Blessing. Celtiel. And we have a giant frog. So this is the henchman right here. Man, that stinks. Alright. So we have a giant frog here. This is cool. Now you'll see like this says Monster 1. So some of the items I have in this deck are actually from this Adventure 1. But let's see, a random character at your location encounters the frog. And it says something about electricity. So a random character, so we're going to roll a 1 through 3. Alright, so Larianne is going to do that. We need a 9, and so we're going to be doing kind of the same thing. The pistol, and I think I'm going to use the Blessing of Gods, or should I save it? The worst that can happen is I just have to discard some cards. So we're going to get a d6 plus a d8. We need a 9 plus 3, so 3 is 6. So we need a 6 with 2 dice. We got this. Oh yeah, we did. So 7 plus 3, because again she has a plus 3 for using her dexterity range. And we defeated the giant frog. We weren't using electricity, so this bottom part does not matter. If the check to defeat has the electricity trait, add a 1d8. So that would actually help us kill the frog. So he's not very good against electricity. So giant frog is done. I'm going to put that back in my hand. And it was actually his turn. Now, if I wanted to, if I was afraid that I was going to run out of cards here, I could explore again by discarding this card, but then I have one less card to help me with that. So I'm not going to. I'm going to end my turn, and it's going to go back to Larianne's turn. And of course, this is going to be the henchman. And it is the enemy ship. So we need, it's a barrier type. Check to defeat, see below. So summon and encounter a random ship. If you do not defeat the summoned ship, the enemy ship is undefeated. So I have to defeat an enemy ship. If the summoned ship is defeated, you may seize it. So we can take that ship. So I need to find an enemy ship in here. I'm not sure where I get that from. Okay, I found all the ships. So I'm going to shuffle these up without kind of this behind my back, trust me. And then we're going to draw one. And we're going to see if we can defeat it. So this is the one, the Shackles pirate ship. We need a craft. No, that's to repair. All right, check to defeat. We need dexterity disable of 8 or wisdom survival of 6. So let's see. We have let's see. Dexterity is just a D8, or we could use wisdom survival. Oh, wisdom is 12. Yeah, so we'll use our. This is wisdom survival, so I'm assuming I can use my wisdom and then if I had survival. So we got D12 for our wisdom, because we're kind of smart. And then what we're going to do is use the blessing of the gods. And I can always check this here. It says discard this card to add 2 dice to any check to defeat a villain or henchman. So I'm actually going to use this as this, right? So I'm going to discard this to act as this blessing. And because I'm fighting a henchman, I get to add 2 dice. So I'm going to add 2 more d12s, which I don't think I have 2 more, so I'm going to have to roll another one. All right, so I'm rolling 2 d12s. I need a... where did that card go? I need a 6, actually, so I don't even need as much. And you know what? He's going to do the same thing. So we're going to do overkill. He's going to discard this because we want to just make sure that we get rid of this. I actually get to roll this 4 times. I need a 6. All right, I rolled a 12. I didn't need to do that. That was overkill. That's fine. We defeated the ship. And now if I wanted to, I could seize it. I'm not going to bother with seizing it. I'm just going to discard that. So, but I could attempt to seize it, I guess. So that's done. Now, because I did that, I now can attempt to, oh, darn it. It says succeed at an intelligence or craft 8 check. So I'm going to roll my intelligence, which is not very good. So this is what, a D6. So I can't even do this. So I automatically fail at closing it. And I think this is defeated though, either way. So that's fine. I'll leave that there. I'll draw a card for her. And yeah, I can't even close that with her intelligence. I think no, that one needs an ally, which this is going to be hard. I need to make sure I have an ally. All right, so it's going to be Celtail, and he's just going to close the, I need to flip another card. He's just going to close that. So his intelligence is a D8, and it's a craft, so I can add a +1. So D8 +1. So D8 +1. I need an 8, man. So she's going to use her blessing. Let's see what this says. All right, discard. No, that's for dexterity. So she's going to discard this card. And I'm going to get another D8. So do I have another D8 here? Yep. So 2 D8s. Right? No, that's a D10. Here's another D8. So 2 D8s. Let's see what we get. I need an 8. Actually, I have a +1, so I need a 7. And I got 6, so we failed that. Okay, all right. So I'm going to draw a card, and we're going to go on to the next turn. So Larianne, she's going to actually move. Let me flip over the blessing deck. She's going to go to the Lonely Island. All right, so when she's there, she's going to do her exploration. And remember, when she's alone here, she gets to add a 1d4 to all checks. So let's see what we got. We got some cloth armor. So she needs she's using her Constitution Fortitude. And we need a 2. And her Constitution Fortitude is a +1, D6 +1. And actually, I should have rolled a D4 as well, but it doesn't matter. I rolled a 5. So we obtained this cloth armor. So the question is, Oh, did I already use a card? Alright, so I'm at full with this, but I could discard a card. I don't need both armors, so I'm just going to discard the cloth armor. And then I'm going to draw. And I got some caltrops. Alright, let's try closing that again. So it's a D8. And I'm going to use my blessing, but I need to flip over this card. And this is discarded to add 2 combat. Nope, it's about combat. Alright, so I'm going to discard to add a 1, another die, so a D8. So 2 D8s. Didn't I do this last time? Darn it. Alright, let's roll it. I need a 9. Or no, I need an 8, but I have a +1. 6, 7! 6 plus 1 is 7, that's not 8, so I don't close it again. Okay. Kind of nothing really happening. And now I don't have that extra blessing. Alright, she's going to go. Let's flip over the card. Let's flip there. We have a strength spell, a D6, intelligence. Oh, I can use wisdom to gain it. So my wisdom's D12. So 10. So I did get this card. But it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to discard it anyways. And my turn is over. And it's back over here. I'm going to flip this card. Now I'm only rolling a D8 for this check. And it's just a plus 1 because it's a crafting check. Do I have anything that can do crafting? No. Alright, so I'm just rolling a D8 this time. She's not at the same location, so I don't think she can help. And I need to roll a 7 or 8 to close this. And I rolled a 4, so I don't close it again. Alright, this is kind of the annoying part of this game is these checks can be really difficult. Like it doesn't seem like it's difficult, but if you don't have the character that has higher intelligence or enough of these blessing cards, I might have to discard one of these cards. I'll just discard this one, and maybe this detect magic. So I'm discarding those 2 just to draw 2 more cards. All right, and that's her turn. She's going flip, and it's a longbow. So dexterity range. Her dexterity, I believe, is a D8 plus 3. So D8, we roll that. Let's see if we get this bow. 3 plus 3 is 6, so we do get this bow. I'm not going to use the bow. I'm going to discard this bow. And yeah, I'll just discard the bow. And draw another card. So, wait, do I draw another card? I don't draw another card. I have 4. Alright, slip this. We're going to try to close it again. It's just a blessing of the gods. We get a 1 D8 again. And we need, golly, 7 or 8. Or at least 7 or higher, right? Yeah, there we go. We finally figured out the issue with the floating shipyard, and it is now closed. So when you may bury a card to repair your ship, we don't need to worry about that. So that one is now closed. All right, he's finished. We're going to draw 1 card, and that's that. All right, she's going to continue in the Lonely Island. And we have another barroom brawl. All right, so we're going to use our dexterity, which is a D8, right? And we need a 5. All right, let's see if we have anything that can help us. Because it's not a combat, so I can't use anything with combat. Banish this card to evade a monster whose highest difficulty is... Nope. Recharge this card to reduce the combat damage dealt. All right, so I just need... Whoops. I need to roll... a 5 on a D8. This is not good. Because I think this stays. 6. All right. Man, she's good at brawling. So we defeated this. Discard that. So that was good. All right. Do I need to draw a card? Nope. I have 4. So let's do this. Let's flip over the next blessing. We're going to move over here to the Tempest K. It says, if your ship is dealt structural damage, increase the damage by 1. All right. So let's flip over the top card. What do we need to close this? Intelligence or knowledge 7 check. Man, I flipped the top card. So we have an ally here, Tadpole Dragon. So I can use Arcane, Divine, Charisma, Diplomacy. Let's see, what does he have? Arcane. I do have Arcane, so it's a D8 plus 3. Let's do that. D8 plus 3. 3 plus 3 is 6, so we got the Tadpole Dragon, which it says recharge this card to add 2 and the fire trait to any combat or perception check. Then roll a d12 on a 1 or banish this card, so there's a chance that this dragon will go away. So we're going to add that to our hand. Do we want to? Well, we probably don't need this 2 weapons. I hate just discarding cards. Well, I did gain 1, so I'm not drawing a new one. Anyways, that's done. We're going to flip over the next one. Look, we are slowly running out of time. We're not getting to these henchmen fast enough. They could be at the bottom of the deck for everyone. Let's see, henchmen, please, so we can close the deck. Yes, we got the henchman. All right, it's a hammerhead shark. Now, our scenario says that if you defeat a hammerhead shark henchman, put it on the bottom of a random location. So it's going to be on the bottom of a random location, which I don't see why that matters. Anyways, the hammerhead shark may not be invaded. All right, so we need combat of 9. The difficulty to defeat is increased by the scenario. If defeated, you may immediately attempt to close the location, which we're going to do. Actually, we're not going to. I don't have an ally. Darn it. Okay. That stinks. I have to have an ally. Well, there's supposed to be like a lot of them here. And I don't have any. I should have thought of this. Why did I use the cabin boy? Alright, so I'm using my pistol, which gives me a D6. And my dexterity is a D8 plus 3. So I'm rolling this amount. That is 9 total. I do not have anything else really. I can't evade it. So what's the point of doing that? I could do this though. You may additionally bury this card. I was supposed to roll this last time. So I'm going to bury this card. But instead of burying the card, I can use my special ability because it has a firearm and bury a different card. Let's just bury this. So to bury it, I basically just put it under my character sheet. So it's not out of it's out of this particular scenario I'm doing, but at the end of the game I get it back. Unlike the other things I've been discarding, I don't get those at all. All right, and that was to gain another D10. So D10. I still want to defeat him, but by not closing him, there's a chance that he might end up on this lonely island again. So I need a 9. And I did it. There's a 9 right there. 5 and 4. So that's that. This is defeated. I cannot close the... actually, this goes randomly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to number 2. So it's going to be put at the bottom of this location here. That stinks. I can't close it because I don't have any allies, but I'm going to draw 2 cards. Maybe, yep, I got 2 allies, so on my next turn, I should be able to close it. And I believe, I'm just going to check really quick about closing. All right, so I can't close it now, so I have to wait until I empty out this deck now. And actually, I was supposed to be rolling a d4. I keep forgetting that. That was the whole point of me coming here by myself. Anyways, her turn is done. Actually, I wasn't supposed to draw 2 cards, so we'll just put that one back. Because I had that gun there. Alright, his turn. Flip this deck. Let's flip this card over. And it's an ally. So we need a charisma diplomacy. His charisma is D6. So let's roll that. We could get Sandra Quinn. It's a 2. We didn't get her. So that goes bye-bye. We don't need drawing cards. I'm going to get this confused. So I'm going to kind of put my discard pile over there. My hand there. And it's her turn. So we have to now go through the rest of this deck. Alright, so we have a blessing here. We can do intelligence or divine. So I don't have divine. I have intelligence of D6. So D6. And I need a 7, so I can't get this anyway. So let's just discard it. And that's done. His turn. Blessing. Flip the card. We have a buckler. And this one's magical. Alright, so we need Constitution Fortitude. So his Constitution is a D8. So I'm going to take my D8. Roll it. I need a 5. And I got a 5. Yay! So I got this buckler, which says recharge this card to reduce the range combat damage dealt to a character at your location by 2. Or combat damage dealt to you by 2. Alright, so that might be... Wait, do I have... Those are my discard. Let's see. So I could get rid of this leather armor instead. So let's do that. I'll get rid of that. And we're done. Alright. Alright, it's her turn. I don't think we're gonna have enough time. We have to get through the rest of this deck, and this one's still, we haven't hit the henchman. So let's flip this over. It's an ambush. So dexterity, wisdom. Oh, I can use wisdom. So I'm going to use that wisdom of D12. And I need a 9. Darn it. If defeated, you may explore again. If defeated. So if I defeat it. If undefeated, examine the location deck until you find a monster and counter it. Subtract 1 from each die roll in your check. Banish this card and shuffle the remaining cards into the location deck. Alright, here we go. It's an ambush. 12! Take that, sucker! Yeah. Haha. They couldn't sneak up on me. Now, we're almost done with this. And I could have done it. I keep forgetting that D4. I'm going to put this D4 die like right in front of me. Okay, I'll remember it next time. Alright, his turn. Blessing. We really can't slow down this timer at all. We got a Intelligence Arcane, which is a D8 plus 3. I rolled a 5, so I just got this Force Missile. For a combat check, discard this card to use your arcane skill. Do a 2D. So, cool. So discard this to use your arcane skill plus 2d4s. Alright, so keep rubbing the wrong side. So I take this, and what should I get rid of? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe I get rid of this ally. Alright, that's done. Next. We got a few more cards left here. 3 more. Alright, so a cutlass. We're going to roll our strength. Our strength is a d4 plus the d4. So I got 2 d4s here. And I need a 6. It's hard to read, but that's a 1 and a 1. That's a 2, so no good for that. I'm going to discard that. Now what I could do, let me see my hand. No, I can't. If I had a blessing, I could explore this one more time, and I cannot do that. Alright. So I think I already flipped it over. If I didn't, no big deal. Alright, so let's see this. Ooh, another call weapon. Look, it's me. Alright, intelligence, arcane, so I'm doing another d8. Plus 3. I got it. That was automatic. So discard this card. This is an elite, so we definitely want to get rid of one of these. Discard this card to search the deck of a character at your location for a weapon and add it to your hand. I do want to keep it, but I think I'm just going to discard it. Alright, flip this. Flip this over. We have a potion of heroism. And we need an intelligence. And we are not the smartest person, so D6, I can't even get it. So we discard it. And your turn's done. Flip over the blessing deck. We are seriously in trouble here. I'm not sure what to do, but start burning up some of my health points to get some other cards. Alright, we have the Pirate Hunting. Summon and encounter a random ship or a random monster if you are not on a ship. We are on a ship. If the summon card is undefeated, leave this barrier face up. So we gotta do another pirate ship. And let's just pull this one out. And it's the Sea Chanty. And to defeat, we need Wisdom or Charisma. Darn it. Wisdom is a D4, Charisma is D6. So I can't even do this. And these will do nothing for me. For a combat check, it's not combat. Recharge this card to add 2 to any combat or perception check. Nope. Alright, so we automatically fail it. And it says, summon and encounter a random. If summon card is undefeated, leave this barrier face up and on the location. Put the summon card next to it. Characters at this location encounter the summon card as their first exploration each turn. If the summon card... Oh my gosh. There's no way I'm going to beat this. Alright, so that's there. Darn it. I'm probably going to move. Let me just discard something then. Let me just discard these 2 to draw 2 to see if I can get a blessing. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Alright. So we're going to flip this over. We got treasure map. Alright, intelligence, knowledge, wisdom, so D12. For me, I rolled a 3, so that's not enough, so this gets discarded. Alright, what I'm going to do, and I probably forgot to flip this over, but it's his turn. We're going to flip this over. We're going to move and then close this location. And I already have that ally, so I'm going to, what does it say? Just banish an ally. So I'm basically getting rid of this ally here. And we're closing this location. And then on closing, draw a random, and I keep forgetting that rolling that D4. On closing, draw a random ally from the box and recharge it. So I'll just grab one really quick here. Alright. And recharging means it goes on the bottom of my deck. So this is now closed. And then it's her turn. She's going to come over here, flip this card over, and she's going to try to take on the Sea Shanty. I'm going to use my Wisdom, which is a D12. I need 6, so I have a 50% chance of beating this. It says, when encountering this ship, you may reveal any number of allies. For each ally revealed, add what? Add 3 to your check to defeat it. Well, here. We're revealing that, so I'm adding 3. Should have read that before. 12, yeah, all right. She's really the best character here. So that is defeated. I could try to take the ship, but I don't really want it. So that is now defeated. That wasn't the henchman. So, all right, I'm going to discard this pistol and discard this shirt to draw 2 more cards. Okay, that's kind of what I want. I need these to explore more because our time is just about out. Flip that card over. It is now Saltiel. He's coming over here. We're flipping the card. We got another barrier. Man overboard. Check to defeat his dexterity 7. If undefeated, display the card next to the random character. At the start of each character's turn, the character next to this card must, if if undefeated display. So I got defeated first. All right, and I need a dexterity of 8. And my dexterity is 6. Gosh. What does this say? No. Oh man, 6, so I can't even do that. She can use her blessing. Golly, what a waste. To add a d6, another d6. You know what, forget. I can't even do it. Alright, fine. What happens if it's undefeated? If undefeated, display the card next to a random character at the start of each character's turn. The character next to this card must succeed at a Constitution 4 or 427 check to banish this card. Otherwise, that character must bury the top card of his deck. Oh my gosh. Alright, whatever. Let's just say we lose it. So we're going to flip the next card. Wait, can he? Darn it. Let me draw a card. Okay. All right, blessing. She's going. And we're going to, actually, I need to roll to see who it goes to. Odds, even. Odds. So she's going to attempt to get out of this first, which is a dexterity. Actually, no, it's a Constitution Fortitude. So basically, he missed trying to grab me. I fell over, so now I'm just trying to save myself. So I have a +1, d6 +1, which is a 7. I might as well use, and I don't know why those should go there. I guess I'll use this, which is going to add another d6. So 2 d6s +1 to try not to drown. Yay, I scored a 9. Alright, so I didn't drown. That gets banished, that's gone. And now I can explore here. So I'm going to explore. Let's see what we got. Oh, Sea Hag, look at her. Alright, combat 11. Before you act, succeed at an arcane or divine 8 check, or you may not play spells. Alright, I'm not playing spells anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I need a combat. There, what is this? Alright, recharge this card to add a 1d4 to your range combat. If you would shuffle a weapon, that weapon has the firearm trait. Okay, so this is going to be recharged. So I'll just put him on the bottom. Whoops. Alright, so I need to roll a d8 and another d6. And I have a +3. I scored 12, yay! So, she's defeated. Going bye-bye. And here's all my cards right here. So draw 2 more cards. Alright, not really what I wanted. So this is it. This is the last turn. So we obviously didn't win, but we'll just keep going. So we have the Pirate Captain monster. Before you act, recharge a card. Okay, I'll just get rid of my arcane whatever. And then the difficulty is increased by the adventure. Alright, so I need a combat of 12. So here's where I can use this sword, because you can't use both. I can use the sword, which is a strength melee plus 1d8. So 1d8, and a strength melee is a d8 plus 3. And then I can, what does it say? Discard a little special ability. Choose a weapon. You may recharge another card. So to add another d6, I'll just recharge the Frostbite to add another d6. Okay. And we need a 12. All right, so I got it. 15. Defeated. I'm going to use my blessing to explore again because it says you may instead treat this card, discard this card to explore the location. So I'm going to do that again. So he's going to go again, see if he can find the henchman. All right. Actually, we already know that this bottom one is the henchman, the shark. So we're going to fight this thing. Was I supposed to do anything you may additionally discard? So we're going to do the same thing. We need a 9. The hammerhead may not be invaded. The difficulty, okay. So we're going to do kind of the same thing. Discard this. Or actually, let's see, what is this one? For your combat, discard this card to use your arcane skill. So you can actually discard both of these. So let's blast it with a force missile because it doesn't really matter, or does it? Yeah. So my arcane is a D8 plus 3, so it's kind of doesn't matter. But I'm gonna discard this to gain that D6, right? Yep, to gain that D6. I'm doing a D8, and then I add 2 D4s. And I need a 9. And I got, okay, it's hard to see, but that's a 3. So 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 1 is 11. The shark is defeated. It randomly goes away, but we're going to attempt to close that first. Let's just roll it. So even could be here. And then we're going to attempt to close that. We need a intelligence. Intelligence of D8. So D8. I need a 7. And there's nothing I can do. All right, so I need a 7 or higher to close it, which I probably won't. I got a 6. Because it's just straight up intelligence knowledge, right? I don't know where that card went. Right here. Intelligence knowledge check 7. Right, I don't have it. So, oh well, I didn't close it. And that's the end of the game because I went through the blessing deck. So I would have had to fight this hammerhead shark again, then try to close it again. And then I would have had to have gone through, let's see, the swamp ghoul. And then the villain would have been right here. So we were close, I guess. We were kind of close to getting to him. And that is Pathfinder adventure card game. Probably got some rules wrong. That's okay. I'm still not sure about when it says add a die. I think I just add another of that same die that I was using for that skill check. But maybe it's just supposed to be like a D10. I do, at the end of the scenario, even though we lost, I could go through everything that I found and kind of take things. So maybe I take that arcane missile or that, yeah, I think it was a force missile or whatever. Or like the call weapon, maybe I keep that. We wouldn't get the plunder because we weren't successful, which was this ally here. Yeah, and that is the game. So let me just talk a little bit about my thoughts on this game. It can be fun. There's a lot of dice rolling. You can kind of see like you can kind of make up your own stories with it, but essentially you are just rolling checks. I was kind of having a little bit of fun with it. It is kind of a neat system where, you know, each time you go through these decks and adventures, it is going to be different in the sense of what you're encountering and that kind of thing. The only thing that I have an issue with is it really felt like, and this happens quite a bit when I would play this game, is that you have to close like this one, you need an intelligence knowledge of 7. And I think this game is probably easier with having like the 4 characters versus just doing 2, because this is kind of difficult to do, because even though my character like D8 intelligence, if I had knowledge that would have been better maybe, but it's only a D8 and I need a 7. I think this difficulty level, this right here should have been maybe based on the number of players you're using and adjusted that way, because let's say I'm fighting a henchman right? Well, I'm going to be using my blessings to kind of help me defeat that hammerhead shark there. Well, now I have no blessings left. Well, maybe the other character that's helping me, like this character, also doesn't have blessings. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think characters at other locations can still use their blessings to help you. And you know, if there's other characters, they could use their blessings to help you. So you do need your blessings to kind of add more dice to be able to just close these locations. And you know, it was just that was the hold up there. And a lot of my cards I have, they're for combat, and none of these closings have to do with combat at all. I almost would have rather have had just the villain and fight the villain to where it would automatically close. Like this one, I had to banish an ally, so there's no like fighting to close it, but it seems like a lot of your gear and items go for that. I only have like one item anyways. Like my character can only start with one item. So there's that. I think that always kind of bothered me about this game. And really the best character is this cleric. And the reason why she's so good is because she has so many blessings in her deck. Like, I think she has more blessings. I want to see if I can get that out. Yeah, so this character here, she's an oracle. And actually I've used her and kind of leveled her up a little bit. Look, she has an intelligence D6 plus 2. But she has 5 blessings. So anyways, that's kind of my issue with it. Another thing is like the boat stuff. I don't really care much. It's kind of finicky. I guess it adds to the theme, but I'm not really crazy about the pirate theme anyways. I think I would rather have played one of the other base games. This is the only thing I have. And then another thing is like the cool part that kind of drew me to the game had to do with like leveling up your character and, you know, marking these check boxes. Well, you really, with what you get in the game, you won't be able to do that. I've only done it twice, and I've gone through almost the whole Adventure 1. I went through the first one and the Adventure 1, so there's not a whole lot of like leveling up your character. And even when I leveled it up, I only got like a +1. I think after I beat the first scenario, you got like an extra skill, and maybe there was another card that said you get an extra skill. I just they kind of made it to where you're not going to be able to, you need to buy the other adventure decks, and each adventure deck is about $15. So it's like, do you really want to spend that much more money just so that you can get these characters leveled up? So maybe you have like some suggestions or some ideas of how you might do this differently, as far as do you kind of do some house rules for leveling up your character, so that, you know, it would have been nice if there was like another like set of rules that says, hey, here's another way to level up your character just by going through with the base game, if you wanted to. Because maybe that's what I would do. And you would have to play a lot of games just to kind of get things. And there's even like some other cards in here. I'll show you. Like here, the Stargazer, like the Tempest. So you get this card after you, I think it unlocks somehow. Actually, I'm not even too sure how this works. But I thought maybe you get this after you unlock. Maybe the next time I play this, I just say, hey, I'm going to start off with, I'm just a Stargazer, and I start with this, and I would start with a hand of 6, you know, get all these abilities. And maybe I would play this game again and say, okay, after each scenario, I get to put 1 check on something. Another thing is the rule book is kind of hard. It's hard to find things in the rule book. They don't use a lot of bold words at all. Even finding like the phases of the game, there wasn't like a little like kind of cheat sheet somewhere in there. You had to read a little bit to even find like the rules or the phases of the game. It would have been nice if they either had that on the back of the rule book. I do know that they have an updated version of this game, and I think maybe the rule book is a lot better for that updated version. But overall, if you want to like just have a fun time just making your characters and playing several games, like I said, I played quite a bit of this game before and had fun doing it. I usually, and that's the thing with like with these characters, like they seem cool, but then you always come to like these stupid locations where you gotta have intelligence to close them. You can't close them. Anyways, maybe I'll play this again, who knows. But thanks again for watching. Leave a like, leave some comments, and I will see you next time. So long.